I remember his post a year ago, a video in which he made several statements, and they immediately caught my attention. People who saw the recording said it could have been Skinwalker, Bigfoot, or some kind of werewolf. I left comments under that video, and now it has shown a new one again. This time, the video was shot at night. For half an hour, his group travels through the forest, sets up camp, and only for a minute the very creature he was talking about appears. It appears and disappears, as if it is watching us, remaining in the shadows. Even if it seems like it's transparent or slightly blurred, it only adds to the sense of reality. After all, wild creatures rarely show themselves in full. It's hard to believe that this is a montage. It is immediately obvious from the movements, gait, and proportions of the hands. This is something unusual, not from the world of animals known to us. It really looks like something called a Bigfoot or a forest keeper. He doesn't explicitly state that this is a real creature, but according to him, the answer is hidden in the details, and it's worth watching until the end of the video. And if you watch carefully, you begin to understand. This is not just a fantasy or a game with effects. We are dealing with something real, with a mystery that lives in the forest. This video makes us believe that nature still holds its secrets, and sometimes, if we're lucky, we get to see them with our own eyes. In the quiet French town of Bourgana, tucked away in the lush hills of the Cuss region, a strange local legend emerged. In the 1990s, rumors spread that a mysterious hair-covered humanoid body had been discovered and displayed at a rural fair. Preserved in ice, it was unnervingly lifelike and reportedly stood over 6 feet tall. People began calling it Le Yeti de Bourganov, the Yeti of Bourganov. The creature was said to resemble a prehistoric man, or some kind of frozen ape man. Its features appeared frozen in a twisted expression, as if caught mid-roar before death. Photographs that circulated online and in small magazines show a large, hairy figure lying on its back, partially encased in frost or ice, similar to a taxidermy exhibit. Its face looks human-like, but distorted. Broad nose, heavy brow ridge, open mouth revealing teeth, and leathery grayish skin reminiscent of aged hide or frozen meat. Long reddish-brown hair covers its torso and limbs unevenly, coarse and matted, almost like animal fur glued onto the body. Its hands and feet are thick and large, with stiffly curled fingers and faint traces of ice crystals clinging to them, giving it an eerily realistic appearance under cold light. The Yeti of Bourganov drew attention because it closely resembled an earlier infamous case, the Minnesota Iceman from the United States, a purported frozen Bigfoot shown at slideshows in the 1960s. Though these photos originally surfaced in the 1990s, they've recently resurfaced online, sparking renewed debate. Is this the preserved body of a Sasquatch-like creature, or an exceptionally convincing sculpture? To this day, it remains a mystery, puzzling anyone who comes across it, and the full truth may never be known. Posted to Reddit, one of Pennsylvania's strangest Bigfoot encounters comes from veteran researcher Stan Gordon. He investigated a fisherman's chilling, late-night experience that still haunts those who hear it. The man had been casting his line in near-total darkness when heavy footsteps broke the quiet behind him. Spinning around with his flashlight, he froze. Standing at the edge of the water was something unlike anything he'd ever seen. A ragged, sickly-looking Bigfoot. Its skin was pale and wrinkled, with large patches completely bare of hair. The remaining fur clung thin and uneven, forming a rough, mohawk-like strip up its head. But it was the half face that stayed with him. Sunken eyes, missing teeth, and skin that looked disturbingly human, but aged far beyond anything natural. Before he could react, the creature stepped closer and grabbed his arm. The grip was strong but brief, almost like it was testing him. Then it simply released and turned back into the trees, vanishing without a sound. When the fisherman later told Stan Gordon what happened, the case became known as the mangy old Bigfoot. Artist Mike Sui even sketched it in 1988, capturing every eerie detail, a being that looked ancient, diseased, yet unmistakably powerful. Some believe it was an aging Bigfoot, cast out from its clan and nearing the end of its life. Others insist it must have been a person suffering from a rare skin condition. Either way, it stands as one of the most disturbing encounters ever recorded in Pennsylvania's Bigfoot history. And honestly, imagine being out there alone by the river. Something like that. Walks up, grabs your arm. Yeah, I'd probably hit the ground before it even let go. In this frame, we're looking at what many consider one of the most compelling images ever linked to an alleged Bigfoot sighting. The photo appears to show a large, upright figure, covered in reddish-brown hair, standing deep within a dense forest. At first glance, the creature's long arms, sloped shoulders, and slightly forward-leaning posture align closely with countless eyewitness descriptions reported across North America. What immediately draws attention is the texture of the hair. It appears rough, naturally, tangled, and uneven, unlike the smooth or synthetic look of a costume. The lighting also plays in its favor. Sunlight hits the fur in a way that suggests genuine fibers rather than artificial material. If you look closely, you can even see what seems to be muscle definition around the shoulders and thighs, giving the impression of real movement beneath the hair rather than padded fabric. The environment adds another layer of believability. The forest floor, fallen branches, and bark textures all point to a real outdoor location, not a staged or edited backdrop. There's no clear evidence of props, lighting rigs, or other signs of manipulation. Of course, skeptics maintain it could simply be a person in a high-quality suit, perhaps leaning forward to mimic that primate-like silhouette we associate with Bigfoot. In the end, the image remains a mystery, a blend of intrigue and uncertainty. Whether it's an authentic glimpse of something unknown or just a clever hoax, its lifelike detail keeps it among the most talked-about visuals in Bigfoot research, proof that, in the deep woods, the boundary between legend and reality can get remarkably thin. On January 13th, 2020, in Ontario, Canada, a routine winter day took a chilling turn for a group of forest workers. While they were working, they heard an eerie sound echoing through the trees. All three men felt uneasy, sensing that something wasn't right. One of them recorded the sound on his phone and later uploaded the video online. What could be the source of these unsettling noises? Are they from an animal, or could it be something far more frightening? A camper hiking deep in a Canadian forest claimed to have seen Bigfoot. After walking for hours through the dense woods, he suddenly noticed something unusual. A tall, hairy figure was moving between the trees. Canada, especially British Columbia, is known for such encounters, and many believe this might be genuine evidence of the creature's existence. A man in Mena, Arkansas, was swinging near the edge of a forest when eerie howls echoed from deep within the trees. Intrigued, he grabbed his camera and set out to investigate. The howls were deep, haunting, and unlike any known animal sound. When sound experts later analyzed the footage, they found that the pitch range exceeded what either humans or known animals could produce. Many now believe that Mena may hold one of the most compelling clues to Bigfoot's existence. There's something about night vision footage that instantly makes everything 10 times more terrifying. And the clip we're about to show is no exception. Most of the videos we've seen feature this figure moving through the forest at night, but this one stands out as one of the most authentic and chilling captures yet. Let's take a look, but maybe brace yourself first. Whatever that thing is, it looks absolutely terrifying. When the video is paused on a freeze frame, the face appears almost demonic, like some kind of nightmarish Bigfoot. Honestly, it's hard to say what it is, but one thing's for sure, it's deeply unsettling. Alright guys, another intriguing piece of visual evidence has landed on our desk for analysis today. This frame captures a large, dark, bipedal figure standing at the edge of what appears to be a small body of water, possibly a stream or river, surrounded by dense foliage. The figure itself is predominantly dark brown or black, heavily furred, and displays a distinctly human-like posture, standing upright on two legs. Its sheer size is immediately striking, dwarfing the natural elements around it, suggesting a creature of considerable height and bulk. The background consists of a thick, verdant forest, providing ample cover and a plausible habitat for such an elusive creature. The water in the foreground reflects the surrounding environment, and a faint, almost ghost-like reflection of the figure can be discerned on the water's surface, lending an additional layer of depth to the scene. The terrain around the water's edge is rocky and uneven, a common feature in many reported Bigfoot sightings, often occurring in remote, rugged wilderness areas. Examining the figure more closely, while details are somewhat obscured by the low resolution and potential distance, we can infer some key characteristics. The head appears to be relatively small in proportion to the broad shoulders and torso, consistent with many Sasquatch descriptions. The limbs seem robust and powerful, built for traversing challenging terrain. While we can't make out facial features, the overall silhouette strongly aligns with the classic Bigfoot profile. Of course, the ever-present question of authenticity looms. Could this be a person in a suit or an elaborate staged event? The natural environment and the seemingly candid nature of the shot make such a task challenging, but not impossible. However, the sheer scale and the naturalistic pose of the figure certainly make this image a compelling piece for our ongoing investigation into the existence of Sasquatch. A woman who regularly walked her dog through a quiet forest noticed something unusual one evening. A tree she passed almost every day looked different. Draped in thick moss and shaped oddly, it seemed to resemble a tall, shadowy figure. She took a photo and shared it online, where many claimed it looked just like Bigfoot. But when she returned the next day, the tree was gone. She searched the same path over and over, yet never found it again, and still can't explain what she saw. In April 2024, just days before the solar eclipse, two friends were staying at an Airbnb in the mountains near Mountain View, Arkansas. One night, while outside, they heard the heavy footsteps echoing through the woods. They didn't see anything unusual at the time, but later, while reviewing their footage, they spotted something strange. A long, hairy arm seeming to reach out from behind a tree. Some believe the upcoming eclipse may have stirred unusual activity, but was it really an arm, or just a trick of the light among tangled branches and leaves? Here's some incredible found footage that appears to show a Bigfoot, or possibly a Yeti. The video was originally recorded on January 7th, 2003, according to the timestamp displayed on the footage, long before digital effects like CGI or AI were commonly used. Despite being filmed decades ago, the clip only surfaced recently, on October 13th, 2025. The caption attached to it reads, "Massive Yeti caught on camera near a remote mountain town." Here's the video. Once again, the video claims it was filmed near a remote mountain town, though the exact location wasn't revealed, likely to protect both the family's privacy and the creature itself. According to the story, a man was out working on his large property that day when he suddenly noticed something strange in the snow. At first, it almost blended perfectly with its surroundings, making it difficult to spot. But when he realized what he was looking at, he moved closer and began recording with his old video camera, hoping to capture proof of what he was witnessing. Of course, skeptics both then and now remain unconvinced, arguing that the figure is nothing more than a person in a detailed costume. Believers, however, point to the creature's apparent musculature, the way its fur moves and contours with the body, suggesting it would have been nearly impossible to fake that kind of realism with early 2000s technology. The Yeti, sometimes called the White Shadow, is among the most enduring mysteries of mountain folklore, a towering, ape-like being rumored to dwell in the frozen ridges of Asia's highest peaks. Some researchers claim early Mongolian carvings depict similar creatures, suggesting that tales of the Yeti might predate even Himalayan culture itself. In ancient mountain lore, it's referred to as Dzute, meaning the cattle eater. Locals say it roams the high passes during blizzards, guided by the winds themselves. Monks from isolated monasteries speak of strange tracks appearing overnight, circling sacred temples, signs, they believe, that the guardian spirit still watches over the highlands, unseen but ever present. So, could this man truly have encountered the legendary Yeti on his own property? It's hard to say, but the footage is certainly fascinating. Meet William, the creator behind Trustdale TV, where he shares his travel and wild camping experiences. In this video, he takes us along on his solo journey into the Balbly Forest in Northern Ireland, a location infamous for being one of the most haunted forests in the UK, steeped in tales of mysterious disappearances and sinister events over the centuries. On November 2nd, 2023, as William approaches the forest, a creeping sense of dread envelops him, fueled by its dark history. Nevertheless, eager for adventure, he pushes forward, determined to find a campsite.
Right, it's not ideal, but I'm in a dome tent, so I can really throw it anywhere. I think I'll throw my tent just here. We are a lot further back off the road, so we can't be seen as easy, but we can still hear the car noise with a bit of a pain, but that's camp set up. Let's give you a look around. So we'll start on the outside. This is going to be the cooking area. Keeping it simple tonight. Just got some pasta and tuna, and this same old MRE I've been carrying around now for the past year. I have brought a wood burning stove, but I'll probably just use the gas for handiness. And we're using our new little tent, our little Sports Direct Special, $26.99. Far better colour than the little tent, but
once he sets up his camp, evening descends, and William decides to prepare a meal to settle in for the night.
that's us in our little home for tonight. Now, as usual, this place is complete chaos. Stuff everywhere.
After enjoying his food, he tidies his tent in preparation for sleep. Just as he starts to feel a bit more relaxed, the night takes a horrifying turn.
Why not? We're on our holidays after all. Cheers, folks.
Suddenly, William hears a chilling sound right outside his tent. He freezes, switches off his light, and listens intently, hoping the noise will fade away, but it only intensifies.
From there? Come here.
Calling out, he attempts to make contact with whatever might be lurking outside. With no response, he musters his courage and steps out to investigate.
So I was not that side. I did see game trails earlier on. What's the biggest game you get where we don't get big game? Well, I think that's a nighttime stroll head in the head, definitely. Freak that. We ain't being born, I'll have to check back in the camera. But I swear I heard like something come past there. Freak myself out now. This is getting a bit too real. It must have been game. I have to tell myself this game or I'm leaving.
Peering into the pitch-black forest, he sees nothing that could explain the unsettling sounds. On edge, he retreats to the safety of his tent, trying to convince himself it's nothing dangerous, but the fear isn't over yet.
Right, I'm gonna turn these off for a minute or two. What the f***? Did you hear that? Did you f***? My heart's going f***. Off, who's out there?
Out of nowhere, a slapping noise strikes his tent. William calls out once more, but the silence around him remains unbroken, amplifying his sense of dread.
Oh, I'm paranoid or something like that. Or like, was that me? I'm done that. Right, we have to investigate this shit. I can't sleep in here with this shit. I can get myself worked out.
After several tense minutes of eerie stillness in the woods, he realizes he must investigate, hoping to find a harmless explanation. He knows he won't be able to sleep until he discovers what's outside. Once again, he finds nothing that could clarify the unsettling noises, leaving him feeling more bewildered than before. Disturbed and uneasy, William retreats to his tent. Although the forest falls silent, he remains too shaken to sleep. Feeling increasingly anxious, he decides he cannot spend the night there and begins to pack up.
I think that's good, isn't it? Let's get out of here. Just need to navigate our way back to the trail. And once we're on the trail, we don't have too far to go to the back of the car.
Fortunately, William exits Balblay Forest unscathed, but he leaves with more questions than answers. Was it something supernatural? Or could it have been a person trying to scare him away? Regardless, it's a place he has no intention of revisiting after dark. It's wise to reconsider any plans for a solo night in a haunted forest where danger feels closer than safety. Now, let's move on to another chilling clip. While hiking, a group of men stumbled upon something intriguing. Large footprints in the snow near a well-known Bigfoot sighting area.
This right here. Look right here. Get in on this one.
Yeah, I mean the foot is melted away to make it look bigger. But look at
see,
the top of these right here.
Yeah.
Toes.
Yeah.
So you got a toe here, 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 and then it was the whole hill.
And let me ask you something.
Here, whole hill.
Let me ask you something. If you're looking down at these, do you know something different about this grouping?
There's a small one and
There's
a
a
big
small one and a big one. That means more than one. So it looks like this one might be a parent and a juvenile.
Parent and a juvenile.
And it makes sense because they're all grouped together so close. That's why they're so close together and they're not strided out.
After examining the prints, they concluded they might belong to Bigfoot. Interestingly, footprints of varying sizes were found, hinting that a family of Bigfoot could have passed through. Could these truly be evidence of Bigfoot? Let's take a look at one of the clearest and most convincing Bigfoot encounters ever shared online. It comes from a man known as Matt Moneymaker, who posted the photos on Twitter. He writes, "Here are some photos of a real Sasquatch in Washington state." An elk hunter who spoke at a recent Colorado town hall said the one he saw looked almost identical. The photos, originally released on July 18, 2017, are startlingly detailed. Even though they've been around for years, they've only recently started circulating again on social media. In the first image, the creature appears hunched over, moving quickly toward a tree line. In the second, it's more visible, stepping into a clearing, walking upright through the brush. But it's the third photo that really grabs attention. The level of detail is striking. You can actually see muscle definition beneath the fur. Its biceps and shoulders appear to flex naturally, suggesting real anatomy rather than padding. When people create Bigfoot hoaxes, their suits rarely sit flush against the body. But here, the fur seems attached directly to the skin, moving as one. The face also stands out. Gorilla-like features, a broad nose, strong cheekbones, and a pronounced brow ridge. Yet its upright posture and human-like proportions rule out any known primate. And remember, these photos surfaced before modern AI image tools became common, adding even more weight to their authenticity. So, what do you think? Could Matt Moneymaker's photos actually show the real thing? Or is there another explanation behind these remarkable shots? In the forests of Northern California, Corrine Roop claimed something strange had been stalking her property. Loud knocks at night, heavy footsteps, and eerie howls echoing through the trees. Then, one afternoon, she finally saw it. Through the thick brush stood a dark figure, half hidden among the trees. She raised her camera and managed to snap a single photo. At first glance, it looks like nothing more than a jumble of leaves and shadows. But Corrine insists, if you look closer, you can see a face, deep-set eyes, a wide nose, and coarse hair blending seamlessly into the forest background. Skeptics were quick to dismiss it as a trick of light, pure pareidolia. Believers, though, called it one of the clearest glimpses of Bigfoot ever captured. But honestly, that's just not true. I mean, I don't see anything. Maybe this Reddit comment summed it up best. Or this one. I don't know how anyone could submit a photo like this with a straight face. Seriously, does anyone on Earth see something here? One afternoon, while fishing at a remote lake near the Navajo Mountains, a man claims he captured something extraordinary on camera. In the distance, he spotted a large, hairy figure with a domed head and massive shoulders moving steadily through the terrain. He insists this wasn't any ordinary animal, and he's clear on one point: it wasn't a bear. According to him, the creature's size, shape, and movement left no doubt. He's convinced he witnessed a Bigfoot, and given that no primates are native to this region, he asked the obvious question. If not that, then what? Since surfacing online, the footage has sparked heated debate. Some viewers are convinced it's genuine evidence of the elusive Bigfoot, while others are certain it's just a case of mistaken identity, or even a hoax. At this point, the internet seems split right down the middle. Half the crowd swears it's real, the other half, not a chance. Here's a newer and surprisingly convincing Bigfoot photo that's been making the rounds online. All that's known for sure is that it was taken somewhere in Texas. Some claim it came from a trail camera deep in the woods, while others believe it was snapped by someone passing through the area. Either way, the image is captivating. The creature in the photo is incredibly detailed, with its face being the most striking feature. It has that classic Neanderthal-like appearance, a mix of primate and human, giving it an eerie realism. Its face is framed with dense black hair that thins out around the eyes and nose, leaving the mouth and lips clearly visible. The rest of its body appears to be covered in dark, thick fur, adding to its imposing presence. What really sends chills down the spine is the way it's staring directly into the camera. Whether someone took the picture or it was captured automatically, the creature looks fully aware of being watched. That unnerving awareness ties into one of the most common claims about Sasquatch, that they're highly intelligent, constantly alert, and capable of detecting even the slightest intrusion into their environment. And that's part of what makes them so fascinating. Despite their massive size and strength, they've managed to remain hidden for decades. Is it because of their natural camouflage, their intelligence, or maybe a mix of both? Whatever the answer, this photo definitely reignites the question: how can something so large stay so unseen? I do not know how I can skip the following footage, but it was shot in 1973 by a ranger at Yosemite National Park, Officer Thompson, and the following narration will also be a quote from his words. What I saw was a towering upright figure, covered in dark brown matted hair. From my distance, I'd estimate it stood around 7 to 8 feet tall. Didn't move like any large animal I've ever known. Its gait was human-like, yet distinctly more primate in nature. The creature, that's really the only word that fits, paused on the ridgeline when it noticed me. For nearly a minute, we stood still, watching one another. My instinct was to reach for my sidearm, but something deep down told me not to. Instead, I slowly raised my hands to show I meant no harm. The creature observed me for a moment longer, then made a series of deep, guttural, almost melodic sounds, as if it were trying to communicate or acknowledge my presence. In 1895, an explorer named Orrin Jeff ventured into Grand Caverns with a homemade box camera, attempting long exposure photography in complete darkness. During one of the exposures, he heard movement, triggered a flash, and thought he saw 3 figures staring back at him. He fled the cave, returning a few days later with friends to recover the camera. When the film was developed, it revealed a grainy image showing 3 shadowy humanoid shapes near the cave entrance. The photograph resurfaced decades later, sparking debate. Some see it as genuine evidence, while others dismiss it as an elaborate hoax. In a remote Tibetan village near the Chinese border, locals reportedly came across a huge humanoid figure lying on the ground. It was said to have a human-like face, matted hair, a gorilla-shaped torso, and massive feet. The footage quickly circulated online, with some claiming it was evidence of a Yeti or Bigfoot. Others argued it looked fake, more like a prop than a real creature. Without additional proof, it's difficult to take the claim seriously. A man ventured into the woods near his property after hearing strange noises. As he drew nearer, a massive figure suddenly emerged from the shadows.
Size of this old bitch. It's gotta be 9 foot tall. Hey, see if you want some chocolate. Hey, big fella. Hey, fella. Hey, fella, come here. Oh, he's getting pissed now.
The encounter grew tense as the figure seemed to respond to the man's presence. It moved deliberately, aware of the camera, before retreating once it realized it was being observed. Covered in dark fur, the creature appeared to stand at least 9 feet tall. Convinced of the sighting's authenticity, the man uploaded the footage online, inviting others to weigh in. Could this be a genuine Bigfoot encounter, or is there another explanation? On August 8th, 2013, Bill and Wendy from Gulf Island Rock were driving back from Port Renfrew, Canada, when Wendy suggested they stop for a short hike. After walking about 200 feet into the forest, they noticed a large, hairy figure standing roughly 100 feet away. At first, Bill thought it might be a bear foraging for food, but as they watched more closely, he noticed the creature had a conical-shaped head, unlike any bear he had ever seen. Unsure of what they had encountered and feeling uneasy, the couple decided to leave the area once the figure moved on. The hunter stood silently beside his tree stand, the chill of late autumn settling through the empty woods. A strange sound broke the stillness, uneven, faint, and unfamiliar. He froze, listening, scanning the gray trunks and the carpet of fallen leaves. Then, at the edge of his vision, something moved. From behind a tree, half hidden, a figure, or perhaps just a shadow, seemed to be watching him. Could it have been Bigfoot?
I'm out here, my back against the wall, really. I've been hearing some crazy stuff out here, so I said, hell with it, come out here and record. You know, guys, I encourage anybody that has any of these encounters, or you know they're in your house, record them. Make a video, guys, because, you know, you never know, man. Like, these things are smarter too. They're real smart, like, real smart. So I'm on the ground. I'm by my tree stand where I had the encounter last time. It was right here behind that trees where he kept pumping out before. Okay. I keep hearing these sounds. Also, guys, okay, guys. Okay, guys. Hold on 1 second. Okay, guys. There's something. Whoa, guys, right there, guys. What the? And it moved. Should I approach it? Holy! I knew it, guys. I knew this because I had this gut feeling, man, that I was being watched when I come out earlier. And this is a hot spot right here, guys. Right there, guys. What the? All right. I got him, guys. I'm zoomed all the way in. He's watching me. What, guys? Oh my God. Guys, I gotta get higher ground. Hold on. I can't stand out there like that. I have not got my... Where'd you go?
A Reddit user posted a photo, saying one of her in-laws took it during a hike along the coast of Georgia. They managed to snap one blurry picture and record a brief, shaky video before the figure vanished into the trees. The distance and fading light made it hard to see any clear details. Online, the image sparked instant debate. Some claimed it was Bigfoot, while others said it looked more like a bear or a person. The family themselves remain unsure. All they can say is that whatever they saw was unlike anything they'd ever encountered before. The following recording from the trail camera was made in a wooded area of Michigan, near the city of Dearborn. A local hunter, as usual, was recording animals in a permitted area, while watching the recordings hoping to see various animals. He saw this. In the presented frames, we see a night shot from the forest. The object appears in 3 consecutive photographs, which in itself deserves attention. This eliminates the possibility of a simple glare or camera artifact. We see something massive, dark, moving from left to right between the trees. In the first pictures, the figure appears to be slightly tilted forward, as if it is in motion. The outlines are blurred, but you can see the broad shoulders and narrowing to the waist, which is more like the silhouette of a humanoid creature than an animal. At the same time, the object looks much larger than an ordinary person in dark clothes. In relation to the trees, the height exceeds the average height. In the following frames, the figure has shifted closer to the center and looks more massive. Here we see a clearer silhouette of the back and head, which seems disproportionately large. It is important to note that these images retain the same density and texture of the dark covering of the figure, which suggests the presence of thick wool. This footage comes from the Kilcoy area, where an abandoned collapsed tent was discovered deep in the Queensland bush. Glenn shared the recording, which, in my opinion, may show as many as 3 Yahi. He has documented Yahi tracks on multiple occasions along the stretch from Caboosher to Kilcoy on the Sunshine Coast, and notes that many of the tracks in this region appear to have 6 toes.
Oh, well. Yeah, did you see the big tree break over there? It was a good snap.
During a hike, Glenn and his companion stumbled upon the damaged, deserted tent near a creek and small waterhole. It was around this spot that most of the Yahi activity seemed to occur. Interestingly, a heavy log had been placed across the tent, perhaps as a warning or message, "Do not camp here." The video itself is challenging to interpret, but if you look closely at the rock to the left of the old tent, the first section shows a large dark figure near the rock as the camera moves closer, before it slips away into the bush. In the second part, a smaller shape can be seen moving behind the rock. Later, Glenn returned to the scene and took a size comparison photo. He positioned himself next to the same tree where the largest Yahi had reportedly stood before withdrawing into the undergrowth. The comparison suggests the creature was nearly twice Glenn's height. On reviewing the footage further, another detail emerges. To Glenn's left, hidden among the trees, appears a crouching dark Yahi with a grayish face, watching him intently. Its bent arm extending outward can also be made out along the right side of its figure. A newly surfaced video online is stirring debate, with some suggesting it may capture a possible Bigfoot deep in a North American forest. Filmed in a remote, heavily wooded area, the footage shows a tall, shadowy figure moving with deliberate slowness through the trees. What makes the clip especially compelling is the figure's behavior. Instead of merely passing by, it appears to interact with its surroundings. At one point, it crouches close to the ground, scanning the forest floor before reaching upward to tug down branches, actions that resemble foraging or examining vegetation. Its movements are steady and controlled, displaying strength and purpose against the dense woodland backdrop. The figure's build looks broad and muscular, with long arms that hang low and swing naturally as it moves. Observers note its posture and gait differ subtly from that of a human, adding weight to the idea it may not be an ordinary figure, though the footage is not crystal clear and leaves room for doubt. The combination of its size, mannerisms, and apparent foraging has fueled speculation that this could be one of the clearest behavioral glimpses of Bigfoot ever recorded. Skeptics remain unconvinced, citing the possibility of a hoax or mistaken identity. Even so, the video has already sparked widespread conversation and reignited interest in the enduring mystery of North America's most famous cryptid. In August, a trail camera on a remote Missouri farm captured something its owner still can't explain. At first glance, it seemed like just another motion alert triggered by swaying branches, but when he opened the photo on his phone, he froze. A massive figure stood in the middle of the creek. The camera hadn't even been set up for wildlife. It was there to monitor water levels after flooding earlier that summer had swept away a kayak. Usually the only images it sent were of leaves drifting in the wind. But that afternoon, as the landowner sat down to lunch with his wife, his phone buzzed. Expecting nothing unusual, he tapped the app, only to see something enormous, upright in the water, staring back at the lens. He nearly jumped out of his seat and quickly switched to the live feed, but by the time it loaded, the figure had vanished. Hours later, he and his brother returned to the spot to look for answers. The banks held no tracks, only loose gravel that left no trace of what had been there.
This is the shoreline. And this is the entire area around. As you can see, it's a giant tree right here and about an 8-foot cliff. So it'd be very difficult for someone to jump down or jump up. And then this is directly above. Just so you can kind of get a view of the geography here. And then this is directly below. As you can see, I'm about a foot into the water here. This is exactly where he was standing. It's the exact spot. We came back and we're a few feet forward from where we were in the other picture. So we tried to get in the exact spot. And then the camera is right up there where Will's at. And we're trying to trigger it from here because I'm not big enough to do it. So
The man's brother, who stands about 6 feet tall, posed in the same spot for scale. Yet the figure in the original photo appeared several feet taller and 2 to 3 times broader. 2 days later, the brothers repeated the test. Same camera, same angle, same time of day. The results were clear. Whatever showed up in that first image was far larger than any man. Covered in shades of brown and black, it stood upright on 2 legs, seemingly walking toward the camera. Locals had whispered for years about strange howls in those woods, which he had always brushed off as coyotes. But with this photo, and the undeniable size difference compared to his brother, the landowner became convinced his camera had captured Bigfoot. And here's the chilling twist. The photo wasn't even triggered by the creature itself. The camera fired only because leaves fluttered across the lens at just the right moment. Without that stroke of luck, the figure might never have been seen at all. So, what do you think? Did a Missouri Trail cam really capture Bigfoot in broad daylight? Or is there another explanation? The Bigfoot Research Organization is now investigating, and I'll be sharing updates. Stetson and Shannon Parker were on a romantic trip to Colorado, celebrating their 10th wedding anniversary. While riding a train between the towns of Silverton and Durango in the state's southwest, they glanced out the window and saw this.
It's an elusive creature. Alright, just squat it down. Yeah, let me see your camera, I'll do it.
According to Shannon's Facebook post, she and her husband spotted a strange, Sasquatch-like figure slipping through the brush near the mountains. Her husband quickly pulled out his phone and began recording. As they drove past, their son Stetson noticed movement and said, "I think it's Bigfoot." The couple, and many who later viewed the footage online, believe they really captured the elusive creature. The figure looks just like classic descriptions of Bigfoot, even appearing to crouch and blend into the brush to avoid being seen. Skeptics argue it could simply be a person in a costume, since the figure is roughly human-sized in the video. But those who witnessed it firsthand insist it was closer to 7 feet tall or more, far larger than the average person. Shannon later told the New York Post that before their trip, they weren't sure if Bigfoot was real, but after this encounter, they are convinced. She also managed to snap a few photos of the creature as they drove past. This sighting is especially intriguing because of the amount of supporting evidence, video, photos, and eyewitness testimony. Yet despite all that, the encounter leaves us with more questions than answers. While hiking, a man noticed movement in the branches and started filming. As he zoomed in, he thought he glimpsed a small ape-like figure nestled in the tree. The shape was difficult to distinguish, blurred by distance and leaves, but its size and posture made him wonder if he had stumbled upon a young Bigfoot attempting to stay concealed.
See what I'm saying? I see you, buddy. It's okay. Well, you can see the white of his eyes in the corner. I think I figured the secret out a little bit.
This trail cam photo, taken in New York, appears to show a Bigfoot-like creature, and it closely resembles another mysterious figure recently caught on camera in the same state. The original shot was snapped on June 30th, 2015. But it went largely unnoticed until the newer image brought it back into the spotlight. The photo was taken deep in a remote forest, where the camera had been set up to monitor local wildlife. What it captured, though, was far stranger than anyone expected. In the frame, we see a small, dark, humanoid figure hunched over. Its head is invisible, but one detail immediately stood out: its massive feet, far larger than expected for its size. Some believe this could be a juvenile Bigfoot, since reports claim the creatures can range in size from towering giants to smaller, younger forms. What makes the case more compelling is that another eerily similar trail cam image surfaced not far from where this one was taken. Though New York isn't usually the first place people associate with Bigfoot sightings, the state has a surprisingly rich history of reports. Its dense forests and rugged wilderness have inspired stories for centuries. Early European settlers in upstate New York spoke of strange tracks, chilling nighttime screams, and fleeting glimpses of towering man-like figures. While many dismiss these tales as folklore, the details echo modern Bigfoot accounts. So, what do these photos really show? Could they be authentic evidence of Bigfoot? Or perhaps something else entirely? Like Dogman? Whatever the explanation, the images remain unsettling and suggest that something otherworldly might be moving through New York's forests. While hiking through Utah's Packen Canyon, A man was enjoying the quiet trails and towering trees when his camera captured something unusual, something that shouldn't have been there. As he scanned the forest, a massive dark figure moved swiftly between the trees. Its motion resembled that of a gorilla, except there are no gorillas in Utah. Cautiously, he followed. When he zoomed in, the creature seemed to notice, then vanished into the woods. Locals have long whispered about Bigfoot. Maybe this time, the stories are true. Now let's take a look at another Bigfoot sighting. But this time, it's of the skunk ape, a cryptid notorious in the southern U.S., especially Florida, often called Florida's version of Bigfoot. This particular encounter comes from the Everglades. While exploring the area, a man noticed something unusual, pulled out his camera, and recorded a video that he'd later uploaded in search of answers. The video shows what appears to be a giant bipedal figure moving through an open field. It's dark in color and seems to have something on its back, perhaps even a walking stick. Skeptics quickly suggested it's just a hiker, a person carrying a large backpack and using a walking stick. That's a reasonable explanation, especially since the footage is taken from a distance, making it hard to identify the figure with certainty. Still, even if this sighting turns out to be a misidentified human, the skunk ape itself remains a fascinating mystery. Often described as a smaller, scruffier cousin of Bigfoot, it's said to stand 5 to 7 feet tall, covered in dark reddish-brown hair, and notorious for its foul odor, hence the name. Legends of large, wild men in Florida swamps go back centuries, with Native American tribes sharing stories of these elusive creatures. Sightings increased in the 20th century, with hunters, fishermen, and locals reporting fast-moving, ape-like beings darting through sawgrass and mangroves. So, is this video capturing the real skunk ape, or just a distant backpacker? I'll leave that for you to decide in the comments. In this Sasquatch clip, a hunter in Canada claims to have captured Bigfoot on camera. At first glance, you can definitely see a creature moving through the woods, but right away, it's clear that it's walking more like a human. Bigfoots don't move like that. They don't take those delicate, cautious steps. Early comments show a lot of skepticism. One person joked that the creature must have gotten a new pair of rubber boots for Christmas, while another pointed out that a real Bigfoot would have sensed the hunter, and there's no way he would have caught it on camera. Honestly, I agree. This seems like much ado about nothing. This next clip hails from India, where we see a man casually strolling through the jungle, singing and minding his own business. Suddenly, he hears something strange and quickly pulls out his camera. What he captures next is the stuff of nightmares. It's truly bizarre. We've all heard of Bigfoot in North America and the Yeti in the Himalayas, but a creature like this in an Indian rainforest, that's unheard of. Its size alone is intimidating, but the creepiest moment comes when it spots the camera and tries to duck behind a tree. To me, that suggests it's smarter than we think. Is it just someone in a suit? Maybe, but I have to admit, I'm intrigued. What do you think? This next clip starts with a group of horse riders who set out to document one of their outings. With cameras rolling, they aim to capture the scenic beauty of the wilderness and the joy of riding together. As they navigated the forest trails, they laughed, chatted, and enjoyed the serene environment, completely unaware of what might be lurking in the shadows. Back home, they gathered to review the footage and relive the day's adventures. But as they played back the video, they spotted something astonishing, hidden deep within the dense woods. Just as the last horse passed by, a dark, imposing figure became visible. This wasn't just any silhouette. Its broad shoulders and thick dark fur made it stand out. The creature seemed to be watching the riders from its concealed spot, almost as if it were curious about the group. The footage was undeniable. As they huddled around the screen, the room buzzed with a mix of awe and disbelief. The immediate thought that came to everyone's mind was the legendary Bigfoot. The clip has since sparked a flurry of speculation and analysis. What do you think about this footage? The following video is taken from Cryptic World. In the video, the author, going out for a smoke on his working day, decided to take pictures of the beauty of nature when he suddenly heard strange noises, and then something happened to him. Let's take a look.
Wow, that is so far away though. Guys, look at this. Oh my God. Wow. This thing is just standing out in the open, guys. Just standing right there looking at me this whole time. It looks like its head's swaying. Wow, guys, this is awesome. I knew I heard something. And that's far away.
In the video, we can see a figure in the undergrowth that closely resembles a young member of the Bigfoot family. We can clearly see that the creature stands on two legs and has a conical head, but the size of this creature is confusing. Its shape is unmistakably humanoid, but noticeably bulky. She has no visible signs of clothing, and her entire figure is dark, in accordance with the descriptions of the Bigfoot, who has hair or fur of the same color. When zoomed in, and yes, we zoomed in, the head is positioned low in relation to the shoulders, and the arms appear long in relation to the torso. It doesn't match the physique of an ordinary person. There is also a slight forward tilt in the pose, which is often mentioned by eyewitnesses of the movement of the Bigfoot, almost like a natural instinct developed when moving in dense thickets. One of the most exciting and disturbing aspects of Bigfoot encounters is not only the visual observations, but also the sounds. Eyewitnesses across North America and beyond report hearing deep, resonant sounds echoing through forests and mountains. A man was walking through the woods near his house on a weekend evening when he suddenly heard terrifying noises and decided to make a video. Let's take a look. In the video, we hear scary guttural and low sounds, presumably made by a creature larger than a human. One could say that these are sounds related to something mechanical, but no, there is nothing similar nearby that could make such a sound. These sounds resemble the sound of a large ship. Many Bigfoot audio recordings contain long, prolonged howls or roars that reverberate through the trees like a distant siren in the fog. These low frequencies are felt rather than heard. They seem to vibrate in your chest. Ships use fog horns to signal their presence in conditions of poor visibility, and the Bigfoot seems to declare itself in a similar, maybe to warn, or maybe to contact. Strangely enough, dense forests and deep oceans aren't all that different from each other. Both are vast, echoing, and largely unexplored. So perhaps it makes sense to assume that something as mysterious as Bigfoot can speak in tones that remind us of what lurks in the